Welcome to Shorty Supercoach, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Shorty, it's Wednesday. What the hell are you doing, mate? There's no teams out. I've already seen your Supercoach side have another shocker. What are you doing, mate? Welcome to Shorty's Say. Just another little instalment to Shorty's Supercoach for a bit of a weekly segment. It may not always be each week. Sometimes there might be a couple. Sometimes I may not get around to doing it, but I just thought it'd be good to throw in something else. Of course, this channel is related to Supercoach, but we all love our footy as well. Of course, Supercoach is a passion to many. But I just thought, you know, sometimes I have a lot of opinions on footy stuff in general, and I thought this could be a good way to voice it, particularly after there was a fair bit of success through the pre-season with regular videos and podcasts. So I thought rather than just 2 a week, if I can, and when there's topical and warranted things in the media that I do want to talk about, then this could be a good little segment to just roll out every now and then. So it won't always be weekly. I'll aim for it to be, but at this stage we'll just see what sort of a gauge I get from it and how much interest there is in comparison to the Supercoach stuff. But what has been topical and what has got everyone talking is the exchange between Joel Selwood and Pendlebury on the siren as the Pies down the Cats. Now, first off, I've got to say I absolutely loved it. People are talking about how it was awkward, has a bad look, Joel's a sore loser. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Now, if you don't know, I'm a Geelong fan. We were well beaten. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Now, I don't really understand why people are talking about it being awkward. I love watching that footage. I think it just says so much about the two blokes. Two fierce competitors. Proud men. They've got history. Both top 2 in the Rising Star of their year. Both slightly different players in their craft, but equally brilliant. And it was just fantastic to see. Selwood was beaten on the day. Geelong were well beaten on the day. Pendlebury was best on ground. Obviously, if you haven't seen it, there was an exchange of words, probably 6 to 7 seconds out from the final siren. And that banter and sledging, if you like, continued till the siren went. And it is an unusual circumstance because normally sledging and banter on the field always happens, but not normally is it on the siren. Normally the siren would sound and you just shake the hand. But there was certainly a few more words to be said by a frustrated Joel Selwood and an obviously pleased Scotty Pendlebury. So I thought it just reflected why they are so good. They're two passionate, tough, fierce competitors who have such a will to win and are so hungry for success that sometimes it is going to boil over beyond the final siren. And by boil over, I think we're talking all of 4 seconds. I think it was a fantastic reflection and a little 10-second piece of just how great the game is and how competitive the game is and how much it means to those two blokes. When you see it and you watch it, I'm sure everyone's seen it. Nothing wrong with it as far as I'm concerned. Obviously heated words, they shook hands, all well and good, and as we've seen from one podcast to another, Scotty Pendlebury's podcast, he had Joel Selwood on the phone and they talked about it and they discussed it. So I thought it was fantastic. As a Cats fan, I love to see that. I love to see that Joel is hating the fact that he lost and hating the fact of his performance. And he'll respond, we know that. Now, another thing that I really want to talk about is the people's reaction on social media as well as in the actual media as well. I've been surprised that people have labelled it awkward because I personally don't see it that way. One of these two things has got to start happening, maybe even both. People in the general public have got to either start to harden up and stop being so politically correct about absolutely everything and realise that these are two gladiators of the AFL that have battled it out for over 100 minutes and one man is obviously frustrated. To expect them, what I presume people expect, is for them to go, bang, siren sounds, all well and good, shake the hand, have a laugh, well done Scotty, catch you later Joel, have a nice drive home, what, you know. Obviously that banter and sledging, you can't just go, just stop. You can't go from in the heat of the moment, heat of battle, to just post siren. You just can't have this absolute black and white, like a light switch, like a tap moment, where you just absolutely change your focus and your persona. I thought it was well handled by both of them, and even better handled in the aftermath of getting on the social media, on the podcast, and just clearing up any poor air. So people have got to start to just understand what is going on out there. And the second thing is, which sort of follows the line, is people have got to understand that sledging happens. It's like in the cricket. Sledging goes on and on and on. Some shocking things would be said, there's no doubt about it. But it's always when we see it on the cameras or we hear it in the microphone that we really criticise it. I think people have got to wake up to the fact that this goes on. These are grown men. Now, of course, we all know you can't cross the bounds of, being racist or sexist comments or all those things, mental health. They are bounds that sledging cannot go to. But there is and always will be a part of the game where sledging and witty banter and intimidation is always going to be part of the game. I think people just got to wake up, open their eyes to the fact that this goes on. Just because a camera's highlighting it or a microphone's picking it up, we seem to go, oh, gee whiz, did you hear that? Can you believe that was said? And make it out like it was an isolated incident. It goes on a lot, and I think we've just got to accept it for what it is and understand that this goes on way more than some people seem to think it does. So I just think that was a little bit outrageous. And also, as I sort of round it up, putting into perspective a couple of things that have been talked about and debated across the footy shows. You've got this incident that's been talked about a lot, and Joey Daniher, who, of course, his kicking has been spoken about a lot, but also his, I guess, jovial and happy persona when the scores were very close, and with Hibberd, the hugging, I think it was around half time, and the laughing when he finally put one through the middle. Now, put it this way, I don't particularly enjoy seeing that from Daniher. I like his attitude towards the game, and he seems like a really good bloke. But if I was a coach or if I was a supporter of the Bombers, I wouldn't be liking that. And perhaps that's something Joey has to get out of his game to utilise his full potential, because Joel Selwood, by all reports, is a great bloke. But when he crosses that line and he's on the field, he's a menace, he's a fierce competitor, and has white line fever and will do anything to win and hates to lose. And I think that's what makes him so great and such a great leader. And we only saw the week before him drag the side across the line. Now, I think Daniher just needs that killer instinct in him. Put it this way, 2 incidents at either end of the spectrum. You got Selwood, that some have deemed awkward, perhaps overstepping the mark. And then you got Daniher the other way, where he's almost not taking it seriously, but perhaps lacking that real feel for the game and what he's out there about. Sure, they're mates, him and Hibberd, but they've both been criticised for that. I'd take Selwood's reaction and how he handled himself every day of the week, because that's why he's a champion. Of course he's got skill, of course he's got talent, but the fact is he has killer instinct, a will to win, and if he doesn't win, he's not happy. No one likes to lose, but there's a certain difference between blokes who, I'm disappointed, I'll be better, to I will not stand for this. I'm fuming at my performance and the team's performance. I'll respond in an enormous manner. Now, that's what Selwood is. He's a competitive beast. I just think those 2 isolated incidents, both have received slightly negative commentary. But I tell you what, I'd be taking Selwood's every day of the week. That killer instinct as a supporter, watching on and seeing how much it means to him, I reckon you can lock in Selwood for 30 touches and among the Brownlow votes against Gold Coast next week. Nothing surer. So there's Shorty's say on what is a topical line of thinking and has been in the media for a fair bit of the start of the week and across the weekend. So let me know your thoughts on this added segment to the week of Shorty Supercoach. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It'll be something that I'll look to throw out every now and then. It may become weekly if it is something that is really taking off, I'll probably take a look at certain things. Some may cause a bit more of a passionate response and pick up my attention a little more than others, but generally I will be looking to, you know, find something midweek and just sort of have a chat about it and get your thoughts. So by all means, comment your thoughts on the Joel Selwood-Pendlebury exchange. If you're a Bombers fan, let me know what you think of Danaher. If you're a fan of either of them and just have an opinion like plenty of us do in the footy world, by all means shoot me a comment and I will endeavour to get round to them. If not, I always read them. So all the best. Hopefully you guys are tuned into my press conference, and of course stay tuned for in a couple of days, or possibly even tomorrow, I'll be talking about the teams and the weekend preview. And I haven't absolutely cracked in exactly what I'll be talking about yet from a Supercoach point of view, but certainly there'll be plenty to discuss at this stage of the season, with prices really flowing and a few guys on the downward spiral and a few guys perhaps to bring into our team. So thanks for tuning in once more. As always, comment, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've passed 800. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to everyone who has recently got on board, and as you guys who've been around for a while always know, appreciate your long time support. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll catch you soon.